Hey y'all, this is As Told by Queers, where we speak for the change makers. I'm Micah.
I'm Portia. And today we kind of did a emergency podcast meeting of the minds because in our current climate, we needed to get together and discuss how we're feeling about this. And we wanted to have an opportunity to talk to our community. So we're here to discuss some of those topics with you today. I want to start us off by our normal breathing. If you're new to the podcast and this is your first podcast, welcome. We always start our podcast off typically with deep breathing just to get us arrived and in the moment to listen to a podcast. You know, so much stuff we have going on during our lives in the day. A couple moments of breath is usually a welcome experience, but in these times we need our breath more than ever. We need to be centered more than ever, and we need the ability to be able to call our energy into present time more than ever. So we're going to do 3 deep breaths, so please feel free to breathe right along with us. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, find yourself a spot wherever you are. If you're in your car and you're ready to listen, eyes open or eyes closed, whatever feels comfortable for you. Let's do one big inhale together. Hold it at the top and exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and exhale. Take a breath right now. In this last breath, at the end, when we exhale, we're going to exhale with a big sigh. I know you all have been holding on to probably so much. So in this next breath that we do together, allow yourself to just sigh out everything that is being held in your body. Just sigh that out on the exhale of this next breath. So let's inhale together. Hold it at the top. Exhale with a big sigh. Thanks for breathing with us.
You know, it's really, it feels like a privilege even to do those 3 breaths. It really, really does. The last week has been just devastating. I think that just as a Black person in general, you're very used to this situation happening. But this one feels different. It feels different because there is a shift that is happening. You know what I mean? And so it's coming from the shift is coming from so many different avenues in so many different ways. And to me, it's like, we can't even survive during a pandemic. Like, we can't even not worry about, you know, police. We can't even just worry about the pandemic by itself.
Yeah, I kind of feel like one of the main reasons for me why I think that this is different is because we're in like a powder keg. Like I keep saying, it's like a perfect bomb. Everything that's been going on has been going on. If you've been woke in any way, shape, or form, you've been paying attention to this for years, especially since Trayvon Martin. But we have all of that with George Floyd. We also have everyone's eyes on it because everyone's home from work in the COVID. Kids aren't in school. Colleges aren't in session. It's already a heightened time of so much fear with COVID and everything else that happens on top of all of this. So it just feels like almost suffocating.
Right. Yeah. So we have a few things that we wanted to bring to you guys today. You know, we got into a meeting. We were just like, we're not going to do it the same. Like, we want to talk to you guys just about what's going on and what's the climate like right now, and just like what has came up from us. So yes. First we're going to go into how we're handling this time right now for us. Portia, how are you doing? What is your current state right now? Because it's such a fluctuating of, like, I know for me, I have goods and I have bads, and it's like you're just juggling all these emotions. So yeah, how have you been, and how are you right now?
I mean, I agree. It's been a roller coaster of emotions, left, right, up, down. It literally just feels like this, more like this, because it's like I start over here, then I'm over here, and how did I end up over here? You and I were sharing before this even started. I'm so stretched with work in general because I'm in this juxtaposed time. Really, the nature of what it is to be a Black person. I'm up against this amazing career growth right next to devastation in my community and having to navigate what those two things look like. And what it's looked like is that I've just been really busy, and not really getting the opportunity that I feel like I need to process a lot of the emotions that have come up around this. I literally like popped into my dad's bathroom to, use the restroom and thinking I'm going to be able to have 3 more hours to get my work done today. And he's bawling, crying. And I can't not pay attention to the fact that a grown man that I love in my life has been reduced to tears because he, couldn't make it through the 8 minutes of silence in the George Floyd's memorial service without imagining each one of his kids at the bottom of the foot of that white officer.
Yeah.
That's what there is to feel, is that it's devastation right next to joy, right next to exhaustion, right next to anger, right next to irritation, right next to all the things. For me, I have a really unique experience that I'm in a lot of really Black spaces most of my life up until maybe like last year, where now I'm in a lot of white spaces. And so it has made for some difficult conversations, and it's also made for some really insightful and conversations that make me grateful for humanity moving forward. But also some people in my life aren't gonna take the next ride in life with me because there's collateral damage, and a lot of the people in my life have had to kind of go by the wayside because of other things that have happened around this same issue. So that's kind of how I'm feeling, kind of how I'm dealing.
Yeah. I think earlier this week and probably a little bit of last week also, I was at a very high energy about it. I was on, and I've been doing a lot of stuff. I was in like a Facebook group, and it's white dominant. And so like, I just felt myself in a situation where it was just like this. Then the George Floyd thing happened. I'm just like, I can't even process what's going on. I can't even pay attention to my normal things because this is so much at the forefront. And I'm on social media, and the phone is just, it can consume you, and it can really change your moods. And so the first thing I saw was I ran across the police officer's house, the police officer that murdered George Floyd, and how it was like basically a sea of police officers in front of this man's house, to the point that there were no police officers at the police station that was getting burnt down. That's how many police were there.
Yeah.
And I was like, this man's life is this important to you. And George Floyd's life wasn't even important to the other 3 fucking officers that were around him and did not give him any aid. Mm-hmm. But we're willing to protect this police officer's home and make sure that he makes it to his court and just like all of this. You know what I mean? And so like, that is what like sent me through the roof. That's when I was just like, I need to check everything that I'm doing. I need to make sure that I am invested even more into my community than I am. You know what I mean? I'm checking everybody's stuff. Who is not talking? Who is talking? What are they saying? Are you just doing this because did your HR or did your PR write this letter for your company or what? Are you Ben and Jerry's or not? That's where I'm at. Like, because it's so heightened. It's so much. And so recently, because I go through my own counseling, I'm able to like get this out. I'm able to release this, and I'm able to kind of regroup a little bit quicker. And I had a breakdown with Portia on the phone. I got Portia on the phone, and I was just beside myself with anger, and then like just tears just started flooding. I was just like, I can't even take it. I'm so upset. I'm so beside myself. I don't even know if I'm making sense. You know what I mean? Please help me, sis. Am I making sense? And to feel like, are you valid as a Black person? How you feel, because you're always told that you're using this as an excuse, is a whole nother thing.
Yeah, girl.
A whole nother topic. But towards the end, I would say recently, last night my fiance really had an emotional time. It really took a toll on her, and she has a lot of responsibilities that she's handling right now. And to see her cry, and to see how hurt she is, and how devastated she is, how scared she is, how she wants to get out and protest, and how scared she is to even do that, and how like she still wants to get out there, and she will. We have, you know what I mean? So it's just like, to see that, it's just heartbreaking. You know what I mean? Because yes, I'm fine, as fine as I could be, but now it's her turn, and we're sharing the same space. You know what I mean? And to give her that space to grieve, you know. Currently, I'm at a place where I feel assertive and feel like I need to speak, and feel like I need to put forth action, not just speaking, but put forth action. You know what I mean? But I feel okay. I feel strong today. I feel ready today, because I am taking breaks from social media. I'm not watching the news all day, because I can't. This is traumatizing sometimes. It is traumatizing. Your subconscious is listening, and I think it's acting. So that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, that's it.
As short as possible.
It's so much. And I think maybe the last thing I'll share based on what you said just opened up for me is we're tired. I'm tired. It's so much to hold. Even, my wife in my life, like she's tired. She's angry. And then you have to do the juxtapose of like, oh, I'm finally having 5 good minutes, but my partner's devastated. So I have to kind of, and that is itself is another level of exhaustion.
Right. And it's funny that you said tired, because when we went on the protest, because we went to go march, I'm sorry, to be precise, because there's different ways of protesting. When we went on a march, our sign said tired, period, like in a period sign symbol, like just exhausted. Because how long have we been showing this? How long have we been saying this? This is nothing new.
And if you've been paying attention, you've been tired for a minute. One thing I will say in tired is I'm tired, but also surprised that this many people are paying attention. So at least I'm not tired alone.
Right. Right. I mean, and that to speak to that, so to go into that area of how this is different. There is countries, there are it's international, where they're out there, and it's specifically for us. They are saying Black Lives Matter. Not all lives matter. They're saying Black Lives Matter. Do you know how huge that is? Insanely huge for us as a community. And it's all types of people. I saw, what's that religion? What is it?
The Amish.
The Amish. The fucking Amish. In DC right now, the mayor has wrote in like big yellow letters. I just saw it. Black Lives Matter. And like big yellow letters on their street in DC. Huge, like, it's huge. And it's just different. There is a shift. And you posted something that was like 2020. People thought like 2020 was going to mess up their year. It has messed up their year. But what if it's actually going to make, basically, what if it's the revolution that we need?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so in that space. That's the space I'm in. It's like, and I felt this before George. I felt this before that happened, because so many other things have been lining up for me in 2020 that hasn't. Me even feeling the courage to quit my job and just like go after what I want. The fact that I'm into stocks now and like I'm making money off of it. There's so many other things that are happening that did not happen in 2019. That I was not afraid, I was afraid of doing in 2019. But being able to sit down and to look at myself shifted something.
I would agree. And I feel like 2020, I mean, let's just look through. Worldwide pandemic, started off with Kobe dying, there's a plague of locusts, killer hornets, and now worldwide revolution. It's only June.
Didn't Australia burn down basically in the beginning? I believe so.
Say that part again?
Australia, that big old fire that happened, wasn't that at the beginning of the year?
Change is happening in 2020. The mystics will say this is the time that we've been waiting for. You've been asking for revolution. Are we ready? Because I think it's here.
I'm here for it. I ain't gonna lie. This is like, I remember the time, the moment in your life when you're like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. I don't like this world. That moment in life.
It's ghetto down here.
That moment in life, I remember I was at the most depressed state during that time, because I was just like, I don't feel like I'm supposed to be here. I don't even like how we conduct society. It's wrong. This shit is backwards. And so for this moment to happen, I feel so just like, yes, speak. Do. What can you do? What can you give? What can you say? That's where I'm at. You know what I mean? And I hate that lives are being taken. I hate it. It's the last thing that I want to see. You know what I mean? So it's just like, we have to be ready. We've been calling for this. We've been wanting this. And it's 2020, bitch. The fact that it's 2020 and this is happening, the fact that it's 2020, this says something in numbers. I'm just saying, y'all.
Somebody on my team calls 2020 the year of perfect vision. And I think that it hits the nail on the head every time for me, because every little corner of the peanut butter jar that you didn't see is now being excavated and put onto your face. Revolution around racial, racial injustice in this country is just another example of that.
Onto your face.
It's like, oh, I wasn't looking at it. But now I can't help but see it every minute of every day of every hour and be aware that I am the one that has the responsibility of fixing it. That is 2020 for me in a nutshell.
It's so interesting that you said that, because during my therapy session this morning, I said, it's not even taking it day by day. It's not even that. It's taking it hour by hour, minute by minute.
By minute.
Minute by minute. That's how real this shit is. So, okay. So we know how we're doing now. We see where we're at. Let's get into, these points that we really want to dive into, that we've noticed.
Things to say.
Huh?
We got some things to say.
Yes. What do you want to address first, sis? Like, let's just, yes.
We should first pan out and let's talk through police brutality and what we're actually talking about here. What we're talking about is revolution in the sense of a response of America to police brutality. And to overall, the point of Black Lives Matter is that if they mattered, we wouldn't have to tell you.
Right. And racism. And
lives don't matter, but if they mattered, we wouldn't have to say Black Lives Matter.
Right. And the systematic racism that we deal with in general.
And to say that this is a very layered topic with multiple different pieces, you have to understand racism in this country alone is a hundreds of year construct that has time, energy, money, and resources that have been put into the structuralized, institutionalized concept of racism in this country.
Right.
This conversation could go on for millennia, and there are many, many, many different elements. These are our views on the couple of ones that have stood out to us and I think are pertinent and important to our community right now. But to know that this is the tip of the iceberg. Get resourced, get your information. This is the first time you're hearing a lot of this information. Or if George Floyd smacked you in the face and it was like, what? This has been going on? This is your wake-up call to get resourced. Start looking about your history.
And we will make sure to talk about those resources. That's one of the points that we're going to bring up. So we'll make sure to address those things and put some links below for you guys so y'all can, for all types of people, resources for just Black people, because we need our space right now, and resources for white people, just in case if you need some more knowledge, use hashtags, etc. There's tons of things that you could do. So let's just talk about, I've noticed recently, because a lot of people have been slapped in the face by this whole George Floyd thing. Everybody, all races, all creeds, right? So
I don't know. I would say I wouldn't consider it a slap, for me at least. So the Black community, I think a lot of us were we been saying it.
No, okay, yes. Let's be clear. Well, I feel like all because you're Black don't mean you understand racism.
Yeah, I'm talking about for those of us who've been woke.
Right.
Who've been waiting.
We're not, well, you can't get slapped if you woke.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. I'm talking about the people who got slapped and truly got slapped and was not aware. Or you thought you was aware and you was like, oh shit. So I'm talking to those people. I've been noticing that there's been a lot of reaching back to Black people and the conversation of, well, how are you feeling right now? And this is how I feel, and and having to kind of have a response or have a responsibility for white people's feelings during this time and where they're at, or just people in general, and who were not aware and now are aware and who are coming to for maybe just trying to understand or trying to just come and say, hey, how are you doing? What's going on? You know what I mean? Have you experienced that?
I absolutely have. I'm grateful because I think a lot of white people in my life have reached out to me, even people that I haven't heard from in years, and just been like, hey, it's important for me to check in with you and see how you're doing. It's so funny. An old coworker of mine reached out to me and said, I know that you might have a lot going on right now, and I just wanted to make sure you see how you were doing and see if there was anything that you wanted me to send you. Maybe just like a meal, a comfort food, so you don't have to think about that tonight. I thought that was so incredibly kind and generous. And if you are somebody that is a person of color and you're looking to do something, I really appreciated those messages. And I also was really aware of the people who didn't send them to me.
Right.
So I've been lucky enough to receive a lot of that coming from a loving place, but I think then there's also the element of receiving it like, I need resources. I'm now awake. I'm now angry. Portia, tell me what to do. And the place that a lot of me and my fellow Black women, Black people are at is like, it's not my job to educate you. I don't even understand why you're so enraged right now because this has been going on for so long. However, I will happily point you in the direction of some resources, but it is not my job to be your primary resource just because I'm Black.
Right.
Not all Black people. I consider myself to be a pretty educated person, taking the classes, doing the work to, get on the ground and find things out. But not all Black people are. And I'm not even that resource to be able to facilitate an anti-racism conversation with you. People get paid for that. It's a whole job because it is a whole construct that takes time to unpack and build it. So white people, if you're hearing this, be mindful of your Black friends. We're traumatized right now. Don't call us to ask you what the book recommendation is. I will tell you, read the book. But if you don't read it, don't ask me to go through your posts. I'm not in a space where you can ask me like, is this okay to say? I'm not here for you in that. I need for you to get your own resources for that. It's important for my well-being that you understand that. It's kind of like when somebody dies and you have a death in your family and everybody's asking you, how are you? How are you? How are you? You wouldn't continue to do that because you would say, oh my God, this person is grieving. Give them their space. We are grieving. Give us our space.
Right. And go and get your feet wet. Go and figure it out. I don't have to be responsible. I don't have to coddle your feelings. I need to focus on myself. That's what I need to do. I need to make sure that that I can get through the damn day. Okay? That's how I feel about it. And I think that I understand it's a good conversation to have, because it's as prideful as we are as people of color, we need them. We need white allies. We do. Because those are the people that could stand in front of us during this protest. Those are the people that, and police officers may think like, oh, maybe I can retaliate, not with my gun. Maybe. That is a maybe. But at least you can get the chance of maybe they'll check themselves. There's a chance. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna give you the chance with you as a person of color.
You may not get that chance. And I also feel like, to speak though about that with white people, you gotta know that racism was started by and for white people to be able to benefit from white privilege. The only people who are going to fix racism are white people. So we need white allies, because they the ones who's gonna fix it. We need y'all to get angry. We need y'all to tell your racist uncles. We need y'all to have uncomfortable conversations, put things on your Facebook post that make you upset and uncomfortable. But you have to deal with that level of uncomfort before you can get to a place where any legislation is going to get changed.
Right. You just sit in it. There's a reason why we feel the way that we feel. There is, because we have to sit in it every day. And the system is not broke. The system is working the way it's supposed to work, the way it was designed. And who designed it? That's why you have to be the ones to help move it differently, to turn that shit upside down.
Exactly. And get resourced. At a time right now, all the Google is free, and all the resources in the world are available to you right now. Educate yourself. If you are mad, if you are enraged, thank God. Now go educate yourself and start figuring out what actions you need to take. Those actions do not include, because you have a Black friend, asking them to coddle your feelings through this process. I'm too busy trying to work on my literal mental sanity to be able to wake up every day and still do all the 500 other fucking things that I have to do today, on top of being heartbroken over the state of my country. I need you to hold a bit of this weight with me and do your own research. I'll point you in the direction. But again, also just say, if you have a Black person in your life that is willing to hear you out, that is willing to give you the resources, that it's willing to help you, let you say the racist thing so we can help you be better, consider that a fucking gift, because nobody owes you that shit. It is a literal fucking gift. Nobody owes you that shit. So if you have it, you better cherish that shit extra.
And not every Black person is gonna be that, just so you know. We all come different. We all walked in different shoes. We all have different experiences with white people and with non-Black people.
Don't go around being mad that, well, why can't I come to you? Not every Black person is going to be a space for you to do that right now. Because you have that in your life, consider yourself leaving.
Because they're dealing with their own stuff.
Yeah.
They're dealing with their own stuff. And it may be a lot for them.
Exactly. That's kind of the note I have around that. Is just be mindful. I understand that, non-Black people, I understand that you're angry. I understand that you're frustrated. I understand that all of a sudden, like your baby put so wonderful, as a perfect example, the wool's been brought from your eyes and you are all of a sudden like, what the fuck is going on? One, realize you're late to the game. Two, realize that we've been doing this for so long. So the fatigue that you feel after 48 hours, times that by 30 years and by actual experience. You're fatigued from an internet feed. Imagine the lived experience and act accordingly. If you are a friend, act accordingly. If you are an ally and you want to be an ally in this, we need you. We need you. We need you, but act accordingly.